As preparations for future elections continue, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has sustained the continuous voter registration exercise to ensure that every eligible Nigerian has the opportunity to register and participate in the democratic process. Yet, despite this opportunity, voter turnout has continued to decline, raising concerns about growing voter apathy. What is responsible for this lack of enthusiasm among voters? Is it distrust in the electoral process, dissatisfaction with governance and security, or a lack of confidence that votes truly count? And what more can political actors, electoral institutions, civil society, and citizens do to reverse the trend? These are the issues we will be examining on today's edition of Political Update on Ogun State Television. Many thanks for being a part of this. I am Simi Atabaru, but before I introduce my guests, let's take some political stories making rounds this week.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday declined assent to two bills passed by the National Assembly, citing constitutional concerns and defects that require correction before the proposed legislation can become a law. The Senate was notified of the President's decision through two separate letters read on the floor of the chambers by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. The affected bills are the Raw Materials Research and Development Council Amendment Bill 2026 and the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Management of Nigeria Bill.
Clerk of the Senate, the President has declined assent pursuant to Section 58(4) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to the Raw Materials Research and Development Council Amendment Bill 2026. The reasons given for the decline are here. For the Committee on Rules and Business to rework on them. So this should be done and returned to the Senate within 2 weeks. For the decline of assets, Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Management of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2026. Again, pursuant to Section 58(4) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, I hereby convey to the Senate my decision to decline assent to the Chartered Institute of Purchasing and Supply Management of Nigeria Establishment Bill 2007 as presented. The reasons are all here, clause by clause. So, subject to the correction of the above issues, the bill may be suitable for retransmission and assent. Please accept, distinguished Senate President, the assurances of my highest consideration. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR President, Commander-in-Chief, Armed Forces of Nigeria. These two are referred back to the Senate Committee on Rules and Business to report back in 4 weeks.
The House of Representatives on Wednesday constituted another committee to investigate the legality of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council following allegations that the body was fraudulently presented as a federal agency and had a provision of over 1.3 billion naira inserted into the 2026 appropriation framework. The committee, to be chaired by the chairman of the House Committee on Navy, Yusuf Gadi, was mandated to investigate how the purported agency found its way into the federal budget and determine whether any government processes were compromised.
We need to investigate deeper about how they got to where they got to with regards to our budget, how they got to where they got to with regards to the engagement they have with various government officials.
The agency, which has been said to be fake, is the subject of a legal redress, with its embattled Director General Adeyemi Adeniyi expected to stand trial in the weeks ahead. The All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidate of the 2027 Ogun State election, Senator Solomon Olamilekun Adeola, has visited former President Olusegun Obasanjo and former Governor Senator Ibikunle Amosu in Abeokuta to seek their blessings and support ahead of the poll. Addressing journalists after the meeting with Senator Amosu, Senator Adeola, popularly known as Yayi, said the visit was part of efforts to strengthen consultations within the party.
This is one out of the series of meetings I'm coming to meet my leader. I am here for the first time to call or pay a courtesy call on my leader and to also seek for his understanding and his support, which he has granted. But I'm still coming to pay a scheduled visit where he will be ready to speak to you and speak to the entire press.
Responding, the former governor stressed the need for unity within APC, urging members to work together rather than create divisions.
And those are the stories we've been able to track this week. Thank you so much for joining us on Political Update. Today, as I said earlier, we'll be looking at continuous voter registration and voter apathy. And to have this discussion, I have two guests in the studio with me to dissect the different angles and realities of our electoral process. I have a politician and also a public affairs analyst, Honorable David Oladendu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me once again.
We also have right in the studio on my left, Mr. Ajayi Damilare, the INEC PRO. Thank you so much for being a part of this conversation.
Thank you so much, Simeon, for the privilege.
Okay, let's start by first of all talking about the continuous voter registration. Maybe you tell us how far we have gone in the process of getting people registered ahead of the next election in the country.
Thank you so much for the awesome privilege we have today to be at the OGTV station one more time. The continuous voter registration started on August 18, 2025, and that marked the beginning of the first phase. Just a little after that, August 18, I think a week, the on-site physical registration also followed. And on December 10, 2025, that marked the end of the first phase of the continuous voter registration. It may interest you that immediately after every phase, there is what we call claims and objection, and which we did immediately after the first phase. The second phase also commenced on January 5 and ended on April 17, 2026. Now, 2026. That marked the end of the second phase. Like I said earlier, immediately, like a week after, the claims and objection also followed. Claims and objection is a platform where registrants have the opportunity to make claims or objections, object to the inclusion of another registrant's name, or make claims in respect to incorrect spellings and the likes like that. And also on May 11, 2026, the third phase started. And that third phase would have ended today if not for the Commission's magnanimity and understanding that INEC does not like to disenfranchise any voter, and in the wisdom of the Commission, on July 3rd this year there was a meeting, and then thereafter the Commission concluded that the continuous voter registration should be extended by 2 weeks. Okay. This is pivoted on stakeholders' engagement, INEC's responsiveness to the stakeholders, civil society organizations, you don't understand. And then because INEC does not want to disenfranchise any voter, we want to ensure that every eligible voter is captured
Okay, talking about capturing the eligible voters, you've spelled out that we have 3 phases.
Yes.
And of course, is it possible where you miss out on one phase, you can catch up with the other 2, or if you miss one, you are disenfranchised?
No, absolutely no. I told you that this is INEC's responsiveness to ensuring inclusion.
Okay.
To ensure that every eligible voter is captured. Perhaps you missed the first phase or you missed the second phase, and then perhaps you didn't even hear, because I heard some people say that they were not aware, they didn't know that the registration is going on, and then okay, no problem. So you can always maximize the opportunity you have now. Interestingly, the commission has also made available technology-driven access for this registration, so you can make use of that without even coming to INEC office. And then, should you not be able to make use of this platform, our offices are open, and then our machines are still being moved around for registration.
Okay, that's the registration. I need to clarify, because there are some people that are just getting to know about what is going on with INEC at this moment. What exactly is the registration all about?
Yes, thank you. According to the Electoral Act, the INEC has the mandate to conduct continuous voter registration in preparation for another electoral cycle. This we are empowered to do immediately, just following as guided by law, and then to ensure that those who just turned 18 are able to get their names included into the voter register. And then, for one reason or the other, there are also citizens who could not be registered for one reason or the other: relocation, mobility, and the likes of business, work, and the likes like that. So they could not afford to have been registered over the years. Don't be surprised seeing that there are eligible citizens who will tell you that I have not voted before in my life. They are in this state. I have met them. They will tell you, I have not voted before. Don't be surprised. Let me not just go there. You see, I want to ensure that those who have not registered before get registered, and then they can, those who have their PVCs, whose PVCs are defaced, whose PVCs needs to be updated. There are some persons who needs to update their information. Perhaps they had a maiden name before, they are now married, and the likes like that. And then those who relocated from one police unit to the other, from one state to the other, from one local government to the other, so that they will be included. They will be given opportunity to demonstrate their franchise, and they will not be left out in any way.
All right, thank you so much for that brief. I'll come back to you to check whether the PVCs, if not defaced, it's active for how many years, or is it just something that you can use it as long as it's still intact?
Let me use this opportunity to say that the PVC has no expiry date.
Okay. We'll expand on that later. Right. So let's engage Honorable David Oladende. You've seen the efforts of INEC so far with this CBR exercise, and of course they've tried as much as possible to ensure that at the local levels, at all local government levels, they are pushing out the information, enlightening the people. And of course, I don't know if over the period they've started this particular exercise last year, August, has been stated by the PRO. I don't know if you've noticed anything they can actually improve upon, or maybe there's something they are doing that is helping them get results at the end of the day.
I think I need to up their game. when it comes to voters registration. Why? Number one, you expect people to register. There is no enough awareness. Not at all. Though I'm not expecting INEC alone to do the publicity for this registration. No. There are other groups. We, in our group now, as the convener and national coordinator of Actually Mobilization Group, a support group from Mr. President, we just finished shooting a promo, an advert in this regard. And let me use this opportunity to graciously thank some of our sponsors who support this advert. Honorable Biodun Tobu, Constituency 1. We are approaching that we need to create publicity for this voters registration so that people will be aware. We drop a proposal with him and he decided to partner with us, our organization. Gladly, he supported us with whatever that we need. I expect INEC, I expect other political movement, political CSO, civil society organization, and other to create awareness among Nigerians. A lot of people don't know this thing is ongoing. They didn't know at all. You can't just light a candle and put it under the chair, under the table. INEC need to do more publicity concerning this registration. That is number one. Then number two, another that need to be done by INEC is you can't just choose some few locations and say you are registering. No. It's not enough. A lot of people don't know where these registration centers are. Why can't INEC take it to each polling unit? Not just few locations. So INEC need to do more about this. A lot of people in Nigeria will push us to do something. They are not ready to even use their hard-earned money to take a bike or take a vehicle to a very long distance to register. I think INEC need to work on this. If we want all Nigeria to be captured, Nigeria unfortunately to be captured, then awareness is key. Then getting closer to people who want to register is also an important factor of it. If not, the effort will be defeated. You can't continue registering without having enough registrants. We have not registered enough voters. I need to help his game.
Okay, looking at political parties also joining in the sensitization drive to, for the people to actually get themselves registered. And of course, you've seen different political parties also championing that cause. Is that not enough?
Yes, it might be enough, but not enough at the same time. Like I've said earlier, we were just a support group to Mr. President, Actually Mobilization Group. I'm the convener. We, in one of our meetings, how can we contribute to this awareness? We come up with a script. We approach Honorable Abiodun Mustetobo, Constituency 1 in Lagos House of Assembly. We have this script. What can you do for us? Can we collaborate together to make this happen?
So how much of stakeholders do you think
I'm coming. He said why not?
If
you are doing a general mobilization, each political party, if aspirant or not no aspirant again, candidate of a political party, CSO, another also need to play a role. Each television should be given another time, like we said now. If we approach you now that we wanted to wrap this script, we wanted to use for awareness, you will be asking us for which sum of money, and then it should be it should be something like social.
We have our own social responsibilities.
Television,
and of course you will have been listening to different
political party candidates
to that effect
to come online and make noise about this registration so that people will be aware. People use that town crier. In those days, they use sound crier. Go around the city, go around the villages, let them know. And then the best bet to achieve maximum registration is to ensure that I may get closer to the people that are in the village.
Talking about
travel,
maybe we need to get the feeler from the PRO. What has been the challenges so far? It's important that we don't disenfranchise, Nigerians. And of course, your agency has been doing all it could to actually get this work. What has been the challenge so far?
Well, thank you so much, Simiat. you see, continuous voter registration didn't start yesterday. I told you earlier, we started on August 18, 2025. Before we commenced, we had stakeholders meeting in every local government area council in this state. All the civil society organizations, in fact, we had ICES meeting where it was discussed, and then every INEC, let me tell you, INEC is doing its best to ensure that all the eligible voters are captured. Now, there might be pockets of challenges which are peculiar to certain terrains, but the kind of device that we use is potent enough to be able to capture them, and then once you are in a place where there is network, it's going to be sorted. All along, over almost it's over almost a year now, going to a year that we started this process. We've gone round, including places that you would not have imagined that INEC will get to. We've crossed the seas, we've crossed the waters, we've crossed we've moved. Concerning voter registration that he earlier mentioned, we were still at what's it called, Shion, on market day. I was part of that team. We were at Shion market doing voter sensitization.
Okay.
We were even attending to people. We had, you know, the technology INEC chose to use right now can resolve many of these issues online. Maybe your PVC is defaced, you need to do transfer, you need to replace it, whatever the case may be, you can do it online, except new registration.
Okay.
And now, with this extension, with this 2 weeks extension, there is this technology innovation that allows a new eligible voter to register absolutely online without having to get to our office. Okay. There was a press release we did this week to that effect. It's been on radio, it's been on TV, it's been on the media.
You will share it with us as we continue the program.
Thank you.
So moving straight to the next conversation, which of course is still within the terrain of the topic we're looking at, voter apathy. When you look at the most recent election conducted in June 2026, that's the governorship election in Ekiti State, you have registered voters over 1 million, and of course accredited voters, of course, turnout eventually became 36.07%. Honorable, what's the point of registering as many people as possible, and at the end of the day, voter apathy is what we still experience in every election?
Yeah, thank you very much. Voter apathy has always been there. It happens all over the world. A lot of people, they only sit at social media arguing, and I've always been telling them, if you want to support your candidate, there is no polling unit on social media, no polling booth there. INEC will not count how many comments you receive. INEC will not count how many insults. INEC will not count all the abuses. All you can do to assist your candidate, to assist your choice, is for you to go down to the polling unit and vote. But a lot of them prefer to be on social media. All we can do is to continue to encourage them, to continue to implore them that voting is part of your right, to ensure that the person you think can work for the goodness of Nigeria get to office, not arguing on social media, not insulting on social media, not abusing on social media, not defaming person on social media. If candidate is not good for you, you can't just be insulting him and expect that after your insult, that person will not win an election. A lot of people, we have a lot of people on social media
we've been
who are
told
not
too that that is also part of democracy.
it's part of it. They
relax. Process.
They relax.
Argue your point.
Voters are at the grassroots. That is why I said earlier that for INEC to ensure that there is no eligible Nigeria who does not have right, who will be disenfranchised, they need to go further down to the interior. How many of these people at interior level that have a device to do all this self? We have so many illiterates in Nigeria. How many of them can register themselves using their devices? Some people have never seen before in their life, and they live in the interior. These are people who vote. But other people who expect that a polling unit will come to the social media, we want to beg them, employ them, advise them, go and register. I'm telling you, 70% of them on social media, they don't have PVC. They don't have it. All they want, oh, this is this, actually is this is this. That's what they do. On election day, instead of them to go out and vote, they will be playing football. They will be running. It will be at the polling unit.
So that's part of the question we're asking. Is it really about not wanting to participate in the process? It is not what some people are lackadaisical about the constant engagement that whether you vote or you don't vote, the politicians will always have their ways.
That is lie. Okay. That is lie. We're talking about voter parties all over the world, like I said earlier. Some people, they just don't want to vote. They believe they will be sleeping on voting days. Yes, they will be sleeping.
But you also know that something might have happened that people just lose interest in the process.
Nothing happened. In life, you keep trying, you keep pushing. If your candidate does not want to,
perhaps they did not get the understanding of what.
Yes, they didn't get it.
You just have to keep trying.
Another thing is that they believe their candidate must win at all costs, and then in any race, there will be a winner and there will be a loser. So some people, once the candidate lost the election, assuming we have a presidential election today, and maybe they have already lost, they will not go for the governorship election because. The people are lost. Another thing is that some people are just interested in the presidential election. They are not interested in the gubernatorial election of their state. Some people are interested in the candidate that go to the Senate. They are not interested in the one that go to the rep. Some people are interested just things like that. But all I can say is that we need to create more awareness, more publicity, and that should not be the job or responsibility of INEC. It's the job of the political party who are soliciting for vote. Let all political parties go down the grassroots. Talk to people. How on earth that they will be having 400 million voters that are eligible voters, and they will be having less than 30%, sometimes less than 40%. And where are the rest 70% or 60%? We need to do more.
Maybe I should
up their game also to ensure that they create more awareness.
Okay, talking about awareness, there are some people that have the opinion that there should be enough incentives for voters to actually come out to reduce voter apathy. Some said, as citizen, you should make it compulsory, sort of attach one or two penalties to it if you are not voting in any election. So that's, of course, my ginger, voter participation. So do you think that?
I don't think we need that. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. You can't compel me to vote. Yes, you can't compel me to vote. I might not be interested. It is my right. It's a freedom of choice.
It's your duty.
It's a duty, not a compelled duty.
Okay.
That what they call a compelled duty, that obligation, you must do it. But
is it possible to compel Nigerians?
To me, have they ever compelled anybody all over the world to come and vote? No. It's a matter of choice, matter of
what
decision.
if Nigeria decides to be the first to do that?
Such a law will not stand.
Okay.
Such a law will not stand. People will try it, will not stand.
Okay.
That's because I didn't vote now. I'm not entitled to you can't even say I'm not in Nigeria because I didn't vote. Okay. Such a law cannot stand.
Okay, Mr. Dare, it's important we also talk about this. You've put in a lot of effort trying to ensure that from your end you tidy up, ensuring that no Nigerian is left out when it comes to participating in this democracy. Yes. And of course you check, like I just read, the most recent elections that we had in Ekiti State, 36.07%. of votes were, of course, out of over 1 million registered voters. And of course, you keep doing that every day. The last election was almost the same thing. The decline is also very pronounced. The 2019 election was different from what we have in 2023 election. And as an agency, as somebody, as an institution that have been into, trying to up your games in the aspect of getting people to be part of it, are you also looking in that direction of maybe if there's something we need to do as a country, include that in the Electoral Act and of course probably the Constitution to give a little bit of strength? And of course, Nigerians as we are, if there is nothing pushing us, if there's no consequence or something, we might not really be part of it. Do you think that can work in a country like this?
Thank you, Simiat. You see that I've been laughing. Reason being that Nigerians are very wonderful. Let me tell you my experience. When we got to Shield Market and then we were doing voter sensitization, somebody walked up to me, hey, have you brought money to us? Do you want to give us money? And none of those things. That is on one side. The other part is that we went to Oshiele Market on one occasion. We got there. In fact, we saw resentment, which practically shows the citizens' disinterest in the process. Now, and then for those who care to listen, I love what he said about those who stay on social media to make comments or commentaries. Now, Senior, as of today, there is no polling unit on social media. That has been my slogan since I assumed office. There is no polling unit on social media. So whether you like it or not, whatever noise you make on social media does not hold water. Now, you want to say that, okay, you continue to say, or you hear people say that votes do not count. Excuse me, what do we count? What is it that INEC actually counts? Now, when this His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he contested the general elections in 2023. He got the ticket. Lagos happens to be his primary constituency. What happened? The other candidate defeated him there. He lost Lagos State. And somebody will now tell me that votes do not count. It is not true.
Okay.
It is absolutely not true. That is a case. What about Oyo State? Before Governor Seyi Makinde defeated the incumbent, late Prince Abiola Ajimobi. What about that?
Defeated him or his successor?
The candidate.
The candidate of the APC at the
time. Yes, he defeated the candidate.
Okay. Of the ruling party.
Yes.
At the time.
And then the governor then, the incumbent governor then, who contested for Senate, he lost.
So are
you now telling me that votes do not count? Nigerians think, let me tell you, Simia, Nigerians think that the solution to our problem requires complex. Nigeria's problem is a bit complex, and the Nigerians think that the solution is, it will require a complex solution to be able to overcome these challenges. It is not. The solution to Nigeria's challenges, politically, economically, whatever phase, it's in that PVC. Because if you're able to get the right leader in place, without your PVC, excuse me, those people who are in National Assembly, the executive, the judicial, let's leave the judiciary, executive and the legislatures. Excuse me, they did not come from heaven. They were voted from different constituencies. So it means that the power they have is derived. And so we continue to let people know that your vote will count. Use your PVC, obtain your PVC, get registered, and then we have done so much. We have been to Ilaro, we have been to Shagamu, we have been to different, we have been to Ikene, we have been, excuse me, it's only a person, I think people just chose to be lackadaisical about it.
Okay, talking about being lackadaisical, I know the process might be difficult for some people to withstand, especially when somebody is working in my local government, Ipokia local government, for instance, and all of a sudden you just get moved, you know, to another part of the state, and of course, being lackadaisical is part of it. You don't want to go through, you don't even know this process, and you just assume that because your polling unit is not within reach, you might not be part of the process. This is not possible that we vote anywhere with our card. Is the technology not being worked upon to ensure that that happened?
Well, probably in near future we will get there, but as it is right now, you see, on every PVC, you have the voters' photograph, voters' names, surname, other names. Then you have the voter identification number on that same PVC. Then you have what we call delimitation. It is on that. Ogun State's code is 27. Now, Ipokia that you mentioned, the code for Ipokia is 14. Now, Ipokia 1 is 01. Idiroko is 11. Agojaja is 03. Do you understand? We also have Ipokia 2. Tube ward is also there. We also have Ijofin ward, which is 04. Tube is 5. Do you understand now? So, all of these towns are coded. Then you now have registration area. You have local government registration area. Then you now have polling units. So your PVC ties you to a polling unit.
Okay.
That
So do you see in the nearest future that's possibility of where
Probably,
you can just hold your PVC and that will just be captured?
Simia, do you know that at some point in time, the registration was offline?
Okay. And now
2011 it was offline.
Okay.
So we were always carrying the DDC, then we call it DDC machine, direct data capture machine. We were carrying it from one spot to the other, from one unit, from one ward, so you have to carry it. For it, and then printer, we were using colored printer and all of those things at the time. Then it became fully digitalized. Okay. Now look at the technology INEC just introduced, just to encourage inclusion.
Okay, inclusion.
And those who cannot also use Android phone, like he said earlier, they have opportunity to come to our office. The machines are still being moved around. And then, Simiat, beautifully enough, Commission wants inclusion, and therefore weekends now are now part of this deal.
Okay.
9 o'clock to 3 p.m. You can walk to our office on Saturday, on Sunday, within this next 2 weeks. Okay. From now till 26th. You can walk, you can get to our office 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and get registered. You meet somebody there. But as you are saying you want to get there at 8 o'clock, some people are already there at 7.
Okay.
Do you understand? Okay. So these are the issues. And then you have people saying, oh, the people are too many. And so is it INEC fault? It's not our fault.
So if you have enough people or two, people that, just like you said, the queue, the stress, you have to queue, you have to wait, you have to, that process, some people have to go to work to fetch for their daily needs and all of that. Is that also not part of why we have the challenges continuing at different stages?
It still boils down to lackadaisical attitude. Excuse me, if you want to do, once there is a will, there's always a way. In the last 1 year, we didn't start yesterday. Okay. We didn't start a week ago.
We can talk about the fact that we just wait for the deadline to approach before we all rush.
It has become our culture. It has become our norm.
Okay.
That we always wait for the deadline.
You were about saying something when you were making a point.
You talk about it's not possible that we vote wherever we are. It will open rooms for manipulation and rigging. You can vote anywhere.
What about a technology detecting?
The technology detecting, yes, it's not impossible.
Okay.
Because every day we are getting new innovations in technology. Yeah. But as of today, if you say you can vote anywhere you are, some political party we move en masse to the stronghold of their opponent and ensure that their people keep voting there.
Okay.
Where they will devise a means not allow such in their own area. So to me, I still want to believe that the present system we are using is still the best.
Okay.
Your PVC tie you to a particular polling unit. And all I need to advise INEC is to create more polling units. There are some polling units that you will need to, it's like you are traveling before you can get your polling unit. And there's polling unit that when you get there on the 14th day, they'll say, you are not here, you have to go there. Some are scattered sometimes, that you begin to look for a polling unit till the time it's normal for you to vote. That is that. The INEC is telling us here that the offices is available for people to come and register. If you cannot handle the devices to register yourself on your own. I believe that how many people will travel from their various places. I don't know if you are talking about state office or local government office. I don't know if you are talking about local government offices that you have around Ogun State. Maybe we have 20 local government in Ogun State. Maybe we have to. Within Ogun State, there are places that you need to travel 1 hour, 2 hours. Nigeria does not have such patience to travel long.
So in 2021, INEC actually created 56,872 additional polling units. Yeah. And of course, that's nationwide from 119,973 to 176,846. What impacts has that had on voter access and participation so far? Let me take the question to you.
You see, thank you for that data you just mentioned. You see, voter access, voter inclusion will encourage voter access. And then once it's just like they are also interwoven. Once there is voter access, then of course it makes you feel included.
Mm-hmm. So why are we still talking about decline? All this, as we continue to increase the polling, his narrative is basically that we increase more polling units. So in 2021, some amounts were included, and then it's not really reflecting, or is it reflecting based on the statistics you have?
Let me tell you, the challenge is not polling unit. The challenge is not INEC. The challenge is not perhaps if it's on-site or online. We started this exercise on August 18, 2025. And then somebody came to our office last week and almost caused a fight. I need to be there. I went there myself and ensure that, now obviously it was not that man's turn. And then he came, he said, I'm going to work, blah, blah. Do you understand? And then I had to say, Oga, we didn't start this yesterday. We didn't start last week. We started since last year. So once it's your turn, then you can come in. I didn't allow him to do it because other people are. Now, the only person that we only give concession to is a pregnant woman, elderly, very elderly person, or a disabled person. Once any of this category gets to our office and they are cited, excuse me, they will be invited, given a comfortable seat, because we are just trying to manage crisis also. We don't want any crisis, and that is to tell you the level to which we want inclusion. We've been to leper colony, we want inclusion. We want everybody to participate. Okay. But some people still feel that the PVC does not carry their solution.
Okay, the PVC does not carry the solution. It speaks volume of the general, atmosphere of the political situation in Nigeria. Some just believe that, like you said, they don't want to follow the due process. They don't know that in a democracy, you have alternatives. They just want to stick to a particular candidate and ensure that whatever name callings they can do online, offline, can actually get the person there. They do not believe in the process. What are we doing to change the mindset of the younger generation? You might have it better when you were growing up. The kind of society that was handed over to you was way better than what we have. But in terms of technology, we actually have it better than you. So what is it that we need to do to change the perspective of these individuals, the younger generation now?
I think we need to do more orientation, because the misconception about election in Nigeria is too bad. They believe, some will tell you, election that is coming up in 2027, the result is already ready. That is with the INEC. That kind of mentality that when I hear from so-called educated Nigerians, I so wonder, amaze me, because you are saying that election that was, you voted in that election, it was counted in your present, but you have the copy of the, you have the copy, even in this modern technology, you are recording as they are counting, you still don't believe in that process. Why? Because some people, they don't have a wide, they are too myopic.
Is it really the fault of those people that think so? But
it is their fault.
Because when you check, immediately after elections, you see different videos flying up and down. You see some people thumbprinting themselves. You see thumbprinting a particular political party.
There is no election.
You see a lot of
the world that is free and fair.
I understand your point. Those are just a little bit of what happens during elections, and it's being recorded. And somebody might just pick that up and give that as a reason not to believe in the process. How well? I understand that INEC is doing a lot to ensure that they also have, penalties for any polling units, whether they suspect anything, whether they cancel, maybe you tell us later. But notwithstanding, that reality is also part of our story.
I'm not saying this is not happening. But do you know an issue that happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, at the election cycle, they recycle it again.
Okay.
Which I don't have cop, which technology have cop, they keep recycling. You can imagine that something is happening here now. Maybe there is a kidnapping or bandits here and there. Videos of 5 years ago, 6 years ago, they bring up again to recycle. Most of these things are there. Okay, they are complete inside. Yeah, I'm not saying there's no election rigging. There are election rigging everywhere. They rig everywhere.
I don't believe that.
They rig everywhere.
Everywhere in Nigeria?
They rig everywhere. Let me.
Or in the world?
Even in the world.
Are you serious?
In the world. But once it is credible enough,
okay,
fair enough, you can't say because of one minute percentage of misnomer that we now want to cancel something that is up to almost 90%, 95% because of 10%. It's not possible. Nothing is perfect. All we need to do, we continue engaging, we continue improving on what we are doing. But because there is a little mistake here and there, the next thing, you don't believe in it. Okay. What will you believe in? Like my brother has said, what will you believe in? What will be counted if your PVC, your phone does not count? What will be counted?
So let's get your feel on the relationship between your INEC and of course the political parties in Nigeria and the civil society organizations, the security agencies to be precise, because at the end of every election we just keep calling INEC. But of course we have different actors, responsible for the conduct of the elections. How well are we prepared ahead of this next election, the general election, and of course the security aspect of it? What's the level of engagement with security agencies?
Thank you again, Simeat. You see, like you said, some people just chose to do the name calling. But we are unperturbed as long as what we do is in line with the Electoral Act, which is our framework. It is our legal framework. And then we are undeterred, we are unperturbed. with whatever anybody chose to say, in as much as what INEC does is in line with the Electoral Act. Now, in preparation for 2027 general elections, it bothers us that the those who participate in the process continues to drop since 2011. 2011 we had 54%, about 54% participation. Those who voted in 2015, about 43 point something percent. In 2019, about 34.75%. And then
but some also said it's because of the credibility of the elections that allows for the drop-in, really, that, you know, votes are now counted. So I don't know if that is true based on your own analysis.
If you look at it,
because he mentioned something like that what happened 10, 15 years ago, elections used to be a particular way, you know, in this country at some point.
I said it earlier, that Nigerians think that complex problems requires complex solutions. Nigeria's problems today, the solution to that, to the myriads of issues Nigerians are battling with, is in that PVC.
Okay. PVC.
Once we are able to get the right round peg in the round hole, square peg in the square hole, it's going to resolve a lot of issues. But as for INEC, thank God you are from, I know you know a bit of Ipokia local government. You know that Tongeji Island is part of Nigeria, it's part of Ipokia local government. And INEC has been there to conduct voter registration. You travel on water for almost 1.5 hours to 2 hours before you get to that town.
An election as well.
And then election also, and the same thing, Abigi and some other parts of the state like that. So, and then you want to tell me the INEC is not doing enough?
Okay.
All our machines are ready, our officers are ready, our men are ready. But when you are talking about election, it's not only INEC. INEC will do its part. Then you have the security who is expected to also do its part. You have the civil society organizations who should do their part. And you have we just concluded the political party primaries. Well, a while ago, and then so all the political parties were given fairness.
Okay.
We were fair
because of our time. You have 30 seconds. What do you expect the people to do ahead of the next election? 30 seconds.
Well, I just like to tell every eligible voter in Nigeria, you just turned 18, perhaps, and then perhaps you missed out from the 2 previous faces we have heard. You have opportunity between now and July 26 to get yourself registered or resolve any issue you might have with your PVC. And then it may also interest you to know that all this process, including new registration, can be entirely done online.
Okay.
So please make good use of this opportunity. Thank you.
Honorable David Oladende, do you have other critical stakeholders involved in election, conduct of election? What's your message for them? 30 seconds.
I would just want to focus, not critical stakeholder, on my friends on social media. The bully on social media, I want to beg of you, please, for you to ensure your candidate becomes a winner in an election. Don't sit on social media. Don't say it was illegal. Go and register now. And after registration, don't sit at home on election day. Ensure you go to your polling unit and cast your vote. Don't come and tell us after the state election that it was illegal.
Okay.
If you sit at home, good luck for you. You stop me, it means nothing to me. Bully means nothing to me. Me, I'm working for my candidate.
All right,
Please,
all right. Okay, no, we are
you.
not campaigning on the program. Thank you so much for your contribution on the program. Of course, we've been speaking with Honorable David Oladende, politician and public affairs analyst. And yes, Mr. Damilare Ajayi, the INEC PRO for the state. Thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of this discussion. The message is clear for everybody to hear. We just need to keep being a part of the process. You cannot ignore the process and want a better result. You just need to be a part of it. Just get your PVCs ready and of course go and continue, or of course conclude the registration. It's still on. In the next 2 weeks, it will still be on. Thank you and God bless you. Thank